But on the retested VWAP, we try to get short. We got stopped out. We lost like 62 bucks. So yeah, that was a loss. That was a loss right there. It broke right back above VWAP, held VWAP, and then made a new high. So you got to get out on that. Okay, we got that filled. I bought puts, and we went lower, and I'm using the VIX. I'm using the dollar as confirmation, tick over tick, to see, okay, is this thing going lower or not? As the VIX moves higher, the market has more weight to move lower. As the dollar moves higher, it pushes the market lower. It's not a direct correlation, but it gives you some more data to make better decisions. So we're looking for that retest. It looks like it's going to come up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this. You're going to see my Robinhood. I'm going to buy some put options here. Do not copy me, just learn. And I am using Robinhood because it's a little easier for people to get a hold of. I see 3 wicks on the 1 minute. That's more bearish confirmation. My stop is going to be a hold above VWAP. We see the VIX kind of pulling back, which is what I don't want to see. The dollar looks like it's coming up a little bit. So the more the dollar pushes higher, the more the VIX pushes higher, the more confirmation I have that this trade will follow through. Let's see how it goes. Always have your stops. Okay, we're pulling back. We got a rejection off VWAP, taking a big picture approach. That's the first time we've seen this all day. We're getting a little spike, but look how small that volume is. Is this a real move? It could be. This could be the move. We could come right back up. We got to stop out. All right, I'm going to stop out if it breaks above this wick. It was a pretty quick wick, but I got to stay patient. Could be false. It is holding a little longer than I want it to. Okay, it's showing support at VWAP now. It held VWAP, made a new high, and that is your stop. See if it goes through. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that was a loss. That was a loss right there. Price action broke right back above VWAP, held VWAP, and then made a new high. So you got to get out on that. Now, I could have executed that a lot better. There's always something to teach. So now we can assume price is probably going to climb right back to PDC. Now, remember, PDC is the best way. That's going to be your best entry to actually get short. So I took a little bit of risk here off of it's called the VWAP fade. Usually I took a little risk on the VWAP fade. Now we got short about right here, which is 381. 85, 87, and then we stopped out at 382.05. So, you know, probably about 10 cents, less than 10 cents was our stop, and that's good. That's fine. We take the small loss. Now we're using options, so that loss is going to be a little bigger. So that's why when you use options, you got to use small size. You don't want to be trading, you know, bigger size than you should, because the losses can be really quick and really fast. But that's why you're risking such a little low amount. Okay, so we're getting a similar setup here, a break below VWAP and a retest, except for it's holding VWAP right now. This could be an opportunity, but we do see the dollar right here on the right. The dollar is getting killed. We really want to see the VIX start to move higher. That could happen. Okay, we want to see the VIX, and we made a lower high up here. I know this isn't too clear, but we did make a lower high, and it looks like the S&P might get rejected here by VWAP. So let's see it pull up into VWAP again. We might get short off this. The best risk reward would be price pulling into the EMA and VWAP one more time. I want to see another wick. We're starting to get the dollar bounce a little bit. Starting to get the VIX bounce a little bit. So one more wick into VWAP. Okay. Okay, we might get it. There it is. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Okay, there we go. We're getting the dollar moving up a little bit. We should get the VIX continually moving up. Okay, this is what we wanted to see. We made a higher low, but before that we got a lower high. So now we got the S&P dropping a little bit. Okay, we want to see this low break. We want to get back to these lows and be patient. Okay, the dollar's moving up. The VIX is starting to move up. Let's stay patient. Stop above, I'd say the same as last time, pretty much 382. But it looks weaker this time. It looks a little weaker. So see if we get that follow through. Okay, can we get some follow through? Okay, dollar's pushing up. Dollar is pushing up. The VIX is pushing up a little bit. Ooh, a lot of green on the tape. Not good. Big volume. Okay, let's see if that holds. That is not a good sign right there. Big volume bar on the bottom. Not just the bar, but the volume. You see the volume is much bigger than usual. That's a bullish sign, very bullish sign. But we're still below v-wap, so be patient. We're going to have to get out again if it holds, if it gets back above 382. I'm watching the tape now. Not the wicks. I'm watching the tape. 381.99, 382, 97. Does it hold? The tape is still red, which is why I'm still in this. The tape is still showing a lot of red. And we made a lower high earlier. Okay, now the VIX is starting to pick up a little bit, but the dollar's dropping. So we're not getting a whole lot of clear signals. Now we should really drop out after this. If we make a new low, we should drop lower for sure. But if we don't, then I need to make a decision. I need to decide, hey, is this thing going to move sideways or is it going to move up? Okay, now the VIX is making a new high. That's some good confirmation. VIX is making a new high. Dollar might be finding some support. Okay, now SPY is dropping out. Okay, dropping pretty hard. I'm probably going to get out half my position if it makes a new low. Okay, so I got out half my position. So I pretty much made back what I lost earlier. Now, some people like to add when it comes back into resistance. But again, I don't see the dollar and the VIX very bullish. So I just don't think it's worth the risk right now. We could just come right back and stay break even, but let's see what happens. Looks like it wants to roll over though. Now the we're just on the 1 minute. Now the 9 EMA has crossed below VWAP for sure. If we go to the 5 minute, let's see what it looks like on the 5 minute. Okay, in the 5 minute we made that lower high. Got below VWAP. Looks pretty weak. We really need to get below 381.50, and if we flush below 381.50, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of all my position. We don't have a whole lot of volume or liquidity today, so I'm not looking for a huge move all the way to the lows. Not enough volume, not enough volatility. All right, this is not a good sign. We're seeing the dollar starting to sell off, and we're seeing the VIX move lower in the very short term. This is very short term trading, by the way. But again, we're below VWAP. Okay, we had 2 rejections at VWAP. Last time we didn't really have one. We had a small one, but we have 2 pretty big spike rejections. We could have another one though. All right, the dollar might have found some support. Let's see what happens. There's just not a whole lot of volatility in this market, so we're not really seeing moves really follow through. We're seeing a range. Obviously, we're getting a range here on the SPY between 381.50 and PDC 383. So that's the range. We could just be trading in the range. We come right back up. Not the best day to trade the S&P 500 for sure. I'm sure there's other stocks out there, but I want to focus on this because it's very liquid for options. All right, just one more drop, one more low, and I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out, take the small profits that I've made. This is just a teaching lesson. I wouldn't really size up here because we don't have, there's a lot of reasons why I won't size up here. I'll explain that in a second. Let's get this execution. As you can see, my P&L here on Robinhood on the right. All right, let's go. Flush a little lower. Let's make a new low. I really want to see a new low. Okay, we got a new low. Very capitulated right back up. A little more patient. Come on, a little more patient. And the VIX is breaking out. If you can see up here, the VIX is moving higher, so that should definitely push the S&P lower. And the dollar looks like it has a little bit of support here. So one more flush, and then I'm going to get out. That was a flush, but it did capitulate. I want to see it stick. I want to see it stick. All right, here it comes. Looks like it's going to roll down. Now we could definitely come back and test VWAP. Again, and my stop would change now. My stop would be somewhere between the EMA and VWAP. But I think we are going to trend lower. It looks like we're going to trend lower, but we are kind of scalping here. We're not trying to swing trade anything. Okay, and then overall, let's just take a big picture up here. We see the SPY breaking support. Okay, breaking below support. Okay, now we get the dollar turning up. Okay, dollar's making new local highs while the VIX is pushing up. So this should follow through. This should follow through. We should move lower. We got a very stacked offer. Okay, big stacked offer, and that tells us there's a lot of orders to sell at 380.50. That should flush us through. Okay, they're pushing it up. This is looking bearish. All right, here we go. Let's get that final flush. 384.30, 381.34 is the low. Okay, we're pushing that low. Come on, SPY, fall through. Okay, we're falling through. All right, I'm gonna get out right there. Okay, 144. Okay, we got that filled. All right, so that's it. And if you notice, we got filled here at the biggest, at the spike of volume. Now, does S&P continue lower? Sure. But like I said before, there's not a whole lot of volatility in the market. The S&P's volatility, or the R-vol, which is the relative strength of the S&P, is not very strong. So I'm not going to stick around. I think it could bounce. I mean, hey, it looks like we're moving lower for sure, but this is a teaching lesson here. Okay, we're getting a big spike on the VIX. Big spike on the VIX. But the S&P also is trying to spike. Let's see if we got any news. 1040, no, nothing new. Nothing new on the news. Okay, but the VIX is moving higher, so 2 big volume spikes to the downside. All right. So let's walk this through. Let me walk you through this trade now. Earlier, we traded the S&P 500. We got below VWAP. We were hoping for a VWAP fade here. And what we got was, three capitulations to the upside. I thought it was going to roll over. Our stop was above VWAP, but a hold above VWAP, not just a quick spike that could have shook us out. We were looking for a hold, and it held another 1 minute candle, and then it made a new high. Once it made that new high, I was out. I think we lost $62 on that trade. But overall, the S&P made a lower high. Okay, so it made a lower high from earlier, and that gave me some confirmation. Okay, we should be heading lower. This is the first time we've got a lower high in the trading day. Before, we kept hitting PDC. This time we couldn't even get there. So I'm watching it. We get below VWAP, it consolidates, and we decided to take this trade below VWAP, okay, for a VWAP fade on this next push up. Remember, we got rejected once, we got rejected twice, and I waited. It made a new low. It came back up, and once it couldn't get above VWAP, and also now we have the 21 EMA crossing below VWAP, where earlier in the day it did not cross below VWAP. It got stuck. It kind of bounced on VWAP. This time it's crossing below, so I got short about right here. We stayed patient and made a new low, and this whole time that it's making new lows, we're watching the dollar find support. We're watching the VIX start to move up and break new highs, and that was my confirmation as the VIX made new highs that this trade should, I mean, not that it should, but it's giving more probability that the trade will follow through. And so we got that probability. The VIX made a new high, the dollar supported, and on this big flush candle, I told you I wanted to get out on a new low on a big flush, and we did flush. We flushed lower. The volume was pretty high for two candles, and we got out. So we made back our losses from earlier, and I think we added another $120. Not big size, but again, we're trading options here. So you want to get good. You want to get good at options first. You do not want to be adding size here. Okay, so that's the trade of the day. I think if I were to guess, we could be moving to new lows. I'm not sure, but big lesson of the day. The best trade, just so you know, the best trade today would have been off of PDC. This would have been the best trade from PDC to VWAP. Maybe you take off half your size, you stay patient, and it breaks VWAP and continues lower. And the only reason we're even shorting the market right now is because the market is in an overall downtrend. Okay, let me find the market's in an overall downtrend. We're in a downtrend right now. We're below the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average. We're consolidating, and at the same time, we're getting rejected by a very strong previous support. Okay, we're getting rejected by a very strong previous support. Let's go find that support. We talked about this earlier. Okay, we're getting rejected by this 383 area. It's not only is it PDC, but it's also, a previous support on a gap up way back, last week. It got rejected and had that monster sell off. We got resisted here on Friday, all day long on Friday, and now we're getting resisted all day today. So that's why I'm bearish. That's why I'm going short, because the price action is telling us we can't get past that previous support level. We can't get past the previous support, and that strong resistance is sustaining itself over a period of time. So I wanted to go short. I did not want to go long today. Okay, so we waited for that. Now, hey, did I get the best entry? No, I got in. I did not get in at PDC, but I am familiar with the VWAP fade, and that was our trade today. Was the VWAP fade? Today was the VWAP trade fade, and let's kind of look back. What is the VWAP fade trade? You see bearish price action. Price gets below VWAP. It didn't get below here and stay. It didn't get below here and stay. It got right back above. Here we got below it. We tried this. We saw a couple wicks. It moved right back up. We stopped out. Fine, that's fine. You stop out. But then we see it again following a lower high. We see it again. It gets rejected by the EMA and VWAP, consolidates below VWAP, makes a new low, comes back up, cannot make a new high under VWAP, and the EMA is crossing below VWAP. That's the game. That's the game right there. That is the short. That's the short we're looking for. That is the trade. I'm sorry. That is the trade we're looking for. That is the trade we're looking for. Okay. And again, the reason why we're not holding this all day is because there's not a whole lot of volatility in the market right now. Usually I want to see the SPYs the SPY volatility or the R vol of the SPY above 1, and today it's like 60. So we can check that out real quick. Let me show you what I mean. Now I just wanted to make a point. This is the reason right here, this indicator right here, R vol, and you can find this on FinViz. This is the reason I am not holding the SPY short all day long. I just want to get a little scalp in when I see something good, is because the R vol is at 0.47. I want to see it above 1, which means it's trading above its average volume for the last however many days, and it's not trading at a very high volume, so it's not worth hoping that price continues to go in one direction or another. It's more likely to trade sideways. So if this R vol was above 1, I probably would have held those puts a little longer, but I'm not going to hold them because the market's moving in a range and there's just not a whole lot of volatility. There's no clear direction yet. So just a quick recap before we end the video. Taking a look at the 1 minute chart. I know we're looking at the 1 minute. We're looking at PDC. Okay, this is previous day close. That's a clear support and resistance for the market day to day. And we saw that supporting in pre-market. We saw it support 3 or 4 times. We're not trading the open. The open is pretty volatile, and it's hard to know where the direction is going to be. We stay patient. It dropped pretty hard in the morning, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections off of PDC. The best entry would have been PDC, but I missed that. I missed that entry. I stayed a little more patient. We tried to short. We tried to do the v-wap fade. Okay, we tried to get short under v-wap, not on the initial flush, but on the retest of v-wap. We tried to get short. We got stopped out. We lost like 62 bucks. Came back up. Made a lower high. That lower high is telling me, okay, the market's actually getting weaker now, because before it was coming back to PDC. Now it can't come back to PDC. Comes back to v-wap, gets under v-wap, starts showing some bearish price action. I'm interested again. I'm interested in shorting under v-wap. So I wait for the 21 EMA to cross v-wap to give me some divergence. Not only did it cross, but price action came back and tried to make one last run to the upside. On that last run to the upside, I bought puts, and we went lower, and I'm using the VIX. I'm using the dollar as confirmation, tick over tick, to see, okay, is this thing going lower or not? As the VIX moves higher, the market has more weight to move lower. As the dollar moves higher, it pushes the market lower. It's not a direct correlation, but it gives you some more data to make better decisions. And what do? We flush lower, and this was the previous low right here, and I wanted to get out on a flush below that. I did not hold for the whole day because, like I said before, the R vol, the relative volume, was not high enough for a follow through. So I got out there. If the R vol was like above 1, it was like 0.5 today. If it was above 1, I think this thing would have flushed all the way back to the lows, possibly even lower. So we got out of that. It's just trader education. That's all we're doing. We're just educating, giving a new perspective on the market, using options, using Robinhood. You can see what I'm trading. I'm showing my losses. I'm showing my gains. And I just want to teach people and show them you can use Robinhood. Don't jump into it. Learn first. Learn as much as you can first, maybe 3 or 6 months before you really try a trade. Look and learn before you do anything. Thanks for watching. If you found any type of value, please like and subscribe for more content like this.